How the fuck does my client make $48,352 USD with his coaching business within the span of 1 week using a single story sequence? How the fuck does that happen? Because you guys are chasing these numbers and you can't even attain them while using multiple acquisition sources. And we did it only by hyping up a high ticket offer and launching and using a story sequence, right? Here's the actual chart. $48,000 revenue, 4 no shows only that month. Actually, this is a week. $38,000 in cash collected, right? So it's a pretty good actual decimal on how much cash collected compared to how much revenue we had. In this exact video, I will run you guys through the exact story sequence as well. But the story sequence that I give you will not work unless you know the process of properly launching a high ticket offer, right? Because you have to build hype around your offer so people want to buy. We didn't just make $48,000 by posting a CTA on an IG story and made $48,000. No, that's not what happened. We launched a new high ticket offer for this client and we built hype around it on the span of 3-4 weeks. And then we launched it using a story sequence plus emails. And this is why we were able to pull these numbers. And this is exactly what I'm going to show you guys. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you guys the exact story sequence. But what I want you guys to know is that if you don't know how to properly launch a high ticket offer, then you having access to the story sequence was not going to help you. Why? Because you have all the pieces, you have all the knowledge, but you don't know how to piece it all together into one thing that's going to make you a fuck ton of money, if that makes sense, right? So let's start with number one, right? Here's how you launch a high ticket offer. So first of all, step number one, waitlist setup plus promotion. Now, what I mean by that, this process is around 2 to 3 weeks max, right? Say that you have been working on a crazy project on your IG story and other platforms that you have, any other platforms, YouTube, TikTok, fucking anything, right? So you basically just make a story saying, I've been working on a fucking crazy project for the past 6 months with me and my team. If you want early access to this, just fill out this type form, right? Fill out this waitlist form, whatever. And you're gonna create a type form for waitlist. Where you're actually gonna collect all these informations that I'm going to say right here. So first of all, first name, last name, email, so contact information because you're going to have a dollar dial up these leads, right? And then secondly, market research questions. Now everybody has different market research questions. If you want my personal market research questions that I use for all my clients, I literally replicate the same ones because I know they work. DM me questions on IG. Here's my IG and I'll give it to you for free. I don't really care for that. That's step number one. You really want to build hype around your offer. And I want you guys to know how important this is and why it is important. Because if you don't have hype around your offer, it's like people are not going to know that you're launching something on that date. Say, for example, I'm launching my offer 15th March, right? Halfway through the month. If I don't market that date until that actual spot, then no one's going to know I'm launching an offer. I can't just post on March 15th and say, okay, I'm launching my one-on-one. Yes, I might get sales. Am I going to get a lot? No, because I haven't been launching up. I haven't been building the hype around that until that point. For example, if I was building hype for 2 weeks, this would literally be a perfect launch day because it would be exactly 2 weeks. And I kept promoting it, kept promoting it. What would happen is people would subconsciously start waiting for that date to come. And when that date would come, they would wait for my fucking story to come up for the actual one-on-one. And they would apply like this right away because they're waiting for it, right? That's step number one, and it is crucial. Step number two, content promotion schedule. Now, you need to build hype around the launch day, so you will build a content promotion schedule. That's basically the idea around it, right? Basically, kind of like this, but here's the actual, like, the twist around it that's going to actually, here, this is basically the vehicle that you're going to lose to actually hype up that date, right? Say, for example, March 15th. Instagram posts, 3 reels per week with CTA to waitlist. 3 stories per week with CTA to waitlist. You don't want to spam these too much, and you don't want every single CTA to sound the same because then it's just going to get repetitive and super fucking salesy, and no one's going to want to buy from you. No one's going to wait for that date first of all. So you want to switch up the CTA, but the actual CTA itself, like the actual action that you want these guys to take at the end, should always be use click link in bio CTAs, if that makes sense. My bad. Step number 3. Ongoing marketing from different touch points. This is super, super, super important, right? A lot of you guys only try to market on Instagram, and then what happens is that you're not leveraging each acquisition channel that you can actually possibly have. So, say for example, you ask them for their email here. You naturally could build an automation on Zapier or Make.com or literally anything, right? Where you funnel these people into an actual newsletter, and what you're going to do is now you can market to those email marketing guys too. So, let's say someone is working a blue collar job, right? Or let's say someone is 25 to 35 years old and doesn't actually sit on Instagram. That's not that's not where he hangs around, but he might be on email. Now what you can do is email market to every single person that signed up for your waitlist, right? You want to hit people from different touch points and as many as you can, right? Say for example, you have someone's number, dial them up, right? Give them an early bird access for 20% off. There's so many ways that you could go about doing this. It's just about getting creative. before you run any type of email marketing though, make sure your domains are warmed up so you're not landing in spam, right? Because if they're not warmed up, then what's going to happen is you're just going to land in spam, and no one's even going to get your. This isn't even basically a different touch point at that point because you're only going to get around 5 to 10% open rates, which is fucking horrible if you guys know anything about email marketing. Pre-launch, 2 weeks, 5 emails per week. This is really going to be value-driven emails, right? More so value-driven emails because you really want guys to trust you here. This is where you're going to build trust with these leads so that you can sell to them the third week, right? Because at first you don't want to market your high ticket offer right here. Why? Because they just got on your email list. You really want to build that actual trust around them so that they trust you before they actually buy from you, if that makes sense, right? And then the actual launch week itself, you want to run 2 emails per day, teasing the actual offer. So here you can talk about the deliverables. You can actually start getting closer to like the pain points, the desires, where these guys want to be. For example, if this is a fitness offer, you would talk about losing weight. What's in your program, right? How do you help people lose weight? How much weight do you help them lose? On what time process? 90 days? How long? You know what I mean? But you want to do it in a non-salesy way. So you really just want to talk about your deliverables, but you don't just want to spam it in their face. You know what I mean? You want to indirectly talk about all this stuff without actually talking about it, if that makes sense, right? Now, step number 4, which is super, super, super important for back-end systems, right? I mean, for launching a high-ticket offer, back-end systems plus actual polishment of them if you already have them. Now, this is super fucking crucial. Why? Because you need to scale with data. And I say this every single fucking video, and I'm never going to stop saying it. You need to scale with data and data-driven, you need to make data-driven decisions and not guesswork. Because you need to have direct KPIs on everything that you're doing. Because, for example, if someone didn't close on the actual launch date, but they told you to follow up with them, now if you don't have a back-end system, what might happen is you might forget this lead, right? And this lead might be able to pay you multiple 4 figures. For example, if you're charging 4K, this guy could have been an extra 4K PIF. You know what I mean? And that adds up. That adds up, guys, because a lot of these guys that when we launched here, I think not half of these guys, around 20% of these guys were follow-ups that we did during the actual launch week itself, because the process of launching an offer is actually a week, right? And we followed up with a bunch of guys, and what happened, a lot of guys came through. Maybe it was just bad timing last week. Maybe they were having some struggles IRL, right? They were struggling to pay bills or something like that. But now they're in a spot where they're actually comfortable to spend multiple 4 figures on your coaching program, if that makes sense, right? Now let's go back here. So super simple. Go high level setup. It's literally $99 a month, right? If you call yourself a business owner but don't even want to invest $99 a month or get on someone's sub account, this is what I do. I just buy a sub account and then I get all my clients on there because I don't like it's better for me to just pay $300 a month and then just like not have each client pay $99 a month. That's just what I do. But 99 bucks a month. I mean, you call yourself a business owner if you say that's a lot of money. To actually have all your backend systems and you're gonna make 10x more of that, then don't call yourself a business owner, right? Do me a favor. But yeah, enough of bullying you guys. But tracking systems, right? You want to have spreadsheets, trackers. Every single KPI needs to be tracked. Slack slash Discord setup. I prefer Discord. You can really do whatever. I just feel like it's a little cleaner, and I'm always on Discord talking to my setters on there, so it's just easier for me to go through Discord. Easier for me rather than going from Discord to Slack, Discord to Slack. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of keep it on Discord. But it's really your choice. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything. You can still set up the automations the same exact way. Sales team SOPs and Notion, right? This includes offer details. Your closers, your setters need to know what the fuck they're selling. You know what I mean? If they don't know what the fuck they're selling, then how the fuck do you expect them to close? How the fuck do you expect them to book calls? You know what I mean? Because they don't even know the pain points. They don't even know the desires. And when you make a market research doc, what's going to happen is naturally everyone on your sales team is going to know the pains, the desires, the how to future pace with these leads because they know every single problem and they know why they're struggling within, why it's so important for them to actually break through that struggle, that pain point, and actually get financial freedom or lose weight or do whatever your coaching program is, right? Nice to knows. You want to make sure everyone knows everything, right? Sales scripts, if you create them, setter scripts, closer scripts, literally everything, guys, right? You really want your team to be on the same page as you because, like I said in my last video, you as the leader, you might know everything in your brain, but everyone on your sales team doesn't know what the fuck is going on in your brain. They don't. You know what I mean? So you need to SOP everything and really make sure that everyone is dialed in on what the fuck they're selling, so that when you launch, when you launch, you can't miss out on money, guys. You just can't. So you need to have every system dialed in. Sales scripts, setter scripts, sales process, email sequences, SMS reminders, qualified no bookings, right? This is a little bit more advanced that I can get into in the next video if you guys want me to, but really, really dial in your backend systems, right? Because it's really going to help you. And also, what I would recommend buying, which I recently started doing a couple months ago, Airtable, right? It's literally, I think it's $60 a month USD, and you can literally have an interface with every single payment that you collect, low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, how many calls you take, your P&L, literally everything, right? Which is super, super, super crucial. And for $60 a month, I mean, guys, I'll buy that 10 times over. You know what I mean? But which brings me to my step number 5, right? Funnel development. I don't know why this says backend systems. This is funnel development, right? Because when you launch the offer, you need to have sort of a VSL, but actually an ascension funnel, if you guys know what that is. But basically what an ascension funnel is I explained it in one of my videos, is basically they hop on a video where there's going to be a VSL, right? And VSL is basically the offer owner, or you, or whatever, if you're the growth operator, your offer owner. And he's literally just going to be going through his story. I have a VSL framework. If you guys also want that, hit me up, or I'll make another video on it. But he's literally just going to be going through his story and how he actually break through and got, for example, lost weight, got financial freedom, right? Started seeing results with XYZ. You know what I mean? And what that's going to do is build some type of trust, right? So that they're going to trust the person that's actually selling the offer. And then below that, you're going to have an actual type form. And on that type form, you're basically going to have a bunch of qualification questions, asking them why they even want to be a part of the mentorship, why they feel like they're a good fit. And then towards the end, what you're going to do is you're going to ask them a financial question. So you're going to ask them, how much money do you have to invest? And based on that, you're going to use logic on Typeform, which is super easy to figure out. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. You know what I mean? Where basically, if they put not enough money, they're going to get funneled to a lower ticket offer. And if they have the actual investment that whatever you qualify for, whatever your investment is, they get directly to a book a call link, right? And if they're not qualified, they'll go to a low ticket. And if they buy the low ticket, they'll go to another VSL where their first half of the VSL, you're basically going to explain what they just got and what they bought. Because obviously, when someone buys something, they're going to really make sure that they get every single information out of it, right? So when they're going to watch the entire VSL, because they're going to watch it, they just spent whatever, 20, 30 bucks. Your low ticket is not going to be so much dollars. You're going to funnel them the last half of the video, you're going to funnel them into buying a mid-ticket offer. So an even higher ticket offer. This can be $300 to $500. I mean, depending on your ticket size, your coach's size, a bunch of factors that actually go into this. But you're basically going to funnel them into that. And if they don't buy that as well, you'll basically have a dial up those leads. Or you can have email sequences, which I like a lot, and SMS reminders, which really, really rips for us. But every single offer owner is not going to be the same. You know, some guy dialing might work for him, dialing up the leads that didn't buy. Some guy SMS might work for him. You know what I mean? I've just seen more success with SMS with my personal clients myself. That's why I'm saying that. But literally take everything I say with a grain of salt, because every creator is not the same. You know what I mean? Something that might work for me might not work for you. You know, you need to get creative, guys. You really, really, really need to get creative, because if you don't, the whole point of being a good growth operator, being a good coach, having a good info business is the person who gets more creative will always win in the end. You know, because he's not a copycat. Implement funnel setup and go high level. Super simple. I pay someone around 500, 600 bucks for the actual funnels that I built for my clients. Set up payment processing, payment links, etc. All the access as soon as they pay, like a bunch of stuff. You don't want to have like any technical problems when you actually launch the offer, because that's just going to create a bunch of confusion. And already, like, launching an offer is pretty stressful, right? Not only for you, but for the actual owner of the offer. You know what I mean? Like closers and stuff like that. So you don't want to just have even more stress on top of that on your actual sales team by just having payment processing problems. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you're really set up with that. What I personally use is WAP and Fanbasis. Those are the ones that I've just seen like as less problems, I guess you could say, as possible. So I would recommend those, but there's a bunch more that you could actually use. So actually, and this has what's it called, payment plans. So if someone can't put the whole amount up front, then you can just funnel them into like a monthly offer or something like that, where basically you collect the entire payment up front, but they pay it off over like 12 months, 24 months with like an APR APR rate, right? If that makes sense. Create necessary automations, book call automations to the actual Discord or the Slack, lead nurture sequences, qualified deployments who didn't book, stuff like that. But yeah, boys, this, I really want you guys to understand this, because this is going to be super important, right? And the entire launch timeline should look something like this, right? So total preparation time around 3 to 4 weeks, right? You could, if it's your first time launching an offer, launching your high ticket offer, you can even bump this up to 4 to 5 weeks. You don't have to rush anything, right? Because when the actual launch day comes, you don't want to have something not set up to the point where you lose out on money because you were on a time crunch, right? So if you can give yourself like a buffer week or just something that's gonna help you actually set up all the systems, fucking do it. You know what I mean? Don't just stay like with 2 to 4 weeks just because I said so. You know that I can do that because I've launched countless offers. You know what I mean? So I know the process. I have SOPs that have stuff around that. But if it's your first time launching your high ticket offer or launching a high ticket offer for one of your clients, you really want to take your time on this and dial in every single system and make sure that everything is working, not subpar, but literally flawlessly in your eyes. Right? Now, obviously, nothing's going to be flawless, but flawlessly in your eyes. That's what I said. Um, 2 to 3 weeks promotion, waitlist building, content promotion schedule. We went through all of that. And then 1 week for the actual launch, heavy pushing the offer through IG plus email, through literally every single acquisition you have, YouTube, whatever, right? And this is going to really, really, really make sure that you build hype around your offer before you actually launch it. Now, now that you guys know how to actually launch a high ticket offer, now when I give you guys the story sequence, what that's going to do is that you're actually going to have an effect on your business. Why? Because you know how to properly build hype, and this story sequence is going to work, right? Now, for the actual story sequence that made my client 48K with this high ticket launch, obviously this isn't my client. This is just a framework that I used. Um, Hook and the offer, right? So I'll just read this through with you guys. Finally, opening up seats for the program for agency owners looking to scale to 10 to 30K a month. Market call out, right? Who you're actually targeting and the desired state that they want to get to. So hook and the offer. I'm looking for 6 agency owners that are ready and willing to put in the work and scale to 30K a month using inbound systems. Hook. So this is the hook and this is the offer. But this is very, very, very like vague, right? So in the next story, you're going to go into risk reversal, right? Because again, even if you've built hyper on your offer, people are still going to be somewhat like everyone's very cautious. Humans, we are very cautious. We don't want to spend money on the right thing. We don't want to lose money on we don't want to spend money on the wrong thing. We don't want to lose money on the wrong thing and just waste our money. So we're going to be very, very cautious with the way we spend our money and where we put our money and whose hands we put our money into. So you want to add a risk reversal. So it doesn't matter if you're just starting out and you have no offer or even a niche yet. Now you're basically calling, instead of just calling out a single pocket and only making money from this pocket, you're calling out everyone, right? Because you're saying that you don't necessarily have to be super advanced, but you could literally be a beginner owner, beginner business owner, and you could still make money. Now what's happening is even the guys that don't make any money, they're at 0K a month, but they have some money saved up, they're interested in your offer. Why? Because risk reversal. You know, they know there's no risk in joining your offer and that it doesn't only work for a small handful of people, if that makes sense. We help you with the entire thing, risk reversal. That's basically telling someone, I'm going to hold your hand. When he's scared, you're going to say, I'm going to spoon feed you. I'm going to hold your hand. That takes off so much resistance because you know that that person is going to be there for you every step of the journey, every step of the way, right? From picking your niche to crafting your own unique offer to setting up your own predictable inbound client attraction system. This is literally just a unique mechanism. It sounds cool. It sounds flashy. You just want to throw your fucking credit card like this at the fucking screen, right? But after that, you're gonna start going into desired state because you don't only want to talk about negative stuff, right? So you're gonna start going into desired state. So the aim is to get you to 30K per month with your agency without doing any crappy cold outreach. So now you're telling them exactly what they want without doing what they don't want, right? So you're gonna get here without doing whatever you dread the most, right? So in this case, agency owners, they dread cold outreach. So you're not gonna have to do any cold outreach ever by building an inbound client acquisition system. And this offer was basically ads for this guy specifically. This wasn't the exact offer for my client, but the framework around this was for ads, right? So they run ads for people. It doesn't matter if you have 20 followers online, 2 shot of you on camera, and have no money for ads because I'll show you a way around all of that. You have zero excuses. There's literally no risk on your end. You know what I mean? After this, if you skip the store, you're literally just a lazy fuck. You know what I mean? Because there's a hook, there's a good offer, there's risk reversal where you want to be, right? All the risk is removed right here as well. There's a little bit of risk reversal right here too, right? And this literally makes you take off all the risk from the offer and it just becomes a no-brainer in your mind, if that makes sense. So for the few that take life and business seriously and want to build a system that allows you to get clients chasing you so you can build massive wealth for you and your family, DM me 30K, right? Now, something I would have done better with this actual story sequence is I would have changed the pictures up. It looks a little bit AI, looks a little bit scammy, but this is probably still ripped from Moncel. He's a fucking killer. But the last one is just urgency plus CTA. So urgency right here, right? When people need that last push, right? When people like your offer, like the way that you're talking about it, like the way that you speak, but they still need that little push, you're going to give them that little push, right? And it's almost not going to be like a very friendly push. So you're gonna say, so for the few that actually take life and business seriously. So you're basically telling me subconsciously, if you click off of this story, you don't take life and business seriously. So if you want to make money, chances are you're gonna DM him 30K, right? Because he literally added so much urgency and real scarcity, if that makes sense. And then the CTA is right here. And this is the exact story framework that I use to make my client $48,352 within the span of 7 days of launching his high ticket offer. I literally gave you guys everything in this video. It's like I've paid multiple four figures for this actual information, and I'm gonna drop it in my YouTube. I'm gonna say this every single YouTube video because it's like I spend so much money on this information, and it almost boggles my mind that I literally just drop it in a YouTube video for free. But why am I not scared? You might be asking yourself, Osman, why do you still drop this information if you paid multiple tens of thousands of dollars? It's because I know only a handful of you guys are going to use this information. You know, if this video gets 1,000 views, I know only like 5 people are going to use this information. Why? Because people are not action takers. You watching this video, you're probably not even going to execute on everything that I just gave you, right? Just being super frank with you. So I'm not scared to give this information away because I know that only a small percentage of the people watching me are actually going to use this. And for the small percentage of people that are actually going to use this, I want you to use this because I know you are an actual grinder and want to see results within your coaching business, if that makes sense, right? So if you're actually taking your pen and paper and actually taking notes and actually becoming the person that you want to become, I actually commend you for that, right? And if you want this full Figma doc completely for free, literally, like I said, boys, I don't sell something to my audience. You know, I literally just help coaches. I do my own, I have my own client acquisition way. Like this isn't even a way I get clients. You know, I literally just do videos because I like doing videos, and I actually just like documenting my agency growth and stuff that I learned, right? But if you want this free doc, this full Figma doc where you can actually just go through everything and actually like systemize everything, right? Because obviously, like you guys don't want to have to go through this video every single time. Um, just DM me Figma on Instagram and I got you for the free. But really, I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna not never stop saying it in every single video. Really, don't take this information with a grain of salt because I've paid multiple. Think about it this way: if you paid upwards of $40,000, $50,000 for this information, with mentorships, programs, courses, and stuff like that, you would probably take action on this information, right? So act like you're the one that spent that money and not me, and actually take action on it. Like I said, boys, keep commenting, keep replying to the videos. What other videos you guys want to see? DM me on Instagram if you're struggling with anything. I'll make a fucking video about it. And yeah, boys, really apply that information, and I'll see you in the next one.